I think this is called Godfrey's Cottage for a pretty obvious reason, that one of the tenant farmers was, of course, his name was Godfrey. The thing I forgot to point out to you was this here. So the contest is, can you tell me what those holes are for, please? Anybody?
Ventilation. Light.
Ventilation, says Julian. Pigeons. There must have been some small bloody pigeons. Pigeons, says David. Barbara.
No idea.
Well, you've heard it before. Well, if I said to you that that is the top of a medieval window frame, so the whole window would have come down to here. So those are simply little holes, simply because, of course, glass was enormously expensive. And then when they added to the windows and glass became cheaper, of course, they could go lower. But that originally a very early Gothic window top.
Well, today is March the 22nd, 2013. My name is Jill Broadley and I'm sitting in Barbara Smith's bungalow, and in front of me I have Jack Easton. Jack, first of all, could you tell me when you were born?
Well, back in 1934.
And can you remember the early priests that were there, and
Yes.
the presbytery, and you were telling me a tale?
Yes. It was Canon Morris who was there, and it seemed as though he'd always been there and always would be there.
And you were telling me a little story about the reasons that the bridge was built.
Well, that was a predecessor of his called Canon Luck, who built the presbytery in the mid-19th century. I couldn't tell you exactly what date it was. And when it was built, it was always thought that he could walk across to the church, because the road between the presbytery and the church was thought by the family to be a farm road. But it transpired that it was a public road. Only Anglican clergy could appear in public in clerical garb, and so Canon Luck couldn't cross the road in clerical dress. So he decided that the only way in which he could manage this was to build a bridge, and that's where you get this rather quaint bridge coming over between the two. It marks the very different times when Catholic clergy were not entirely accepted.